I'm Bill Ross.
I'm Turner Ross. We're the directors of Bloody Nose, Empty Pockets in the Panorama section of the Berlin Film Festival.
I overslept one morning and the bottom fell out of manufacturing. I'm really sorry.
Is it your fault that my Cadillac is so shitty?
No, that wasn't me. That was my neighbor.
That's your neighbor?
But no, seriously, I listen to people bitch about how entitled and whiny and privileged 20-somethings are. And fuck that. Fuck that. The only way this planet is going to survive, maybe, is if everybody my age and older dies before everything is destroyed.
Not the planet, but the species.
Right, well, whichever. The planet
will go on happily without us, but you're right.
In fact, if you would mercy kill me tonight, that would be great.
You know what?
Hi, and welcome to the 34th Teddy Award. My name is Felix and I'm here with Bill Ross and Turner Ross to discuss their film Bloody Nose, Empty Pockets. Hi, welcome to Berlinale. I enjoyed your movie a lot, and actually from minute one, basically, I found that there's a specific there's this intro and it has a specific aesthetic. Almost there's this font that kind of comes in, that writing, Bloody Nose, Empty Pockets, and there's, like a Buck Owens song playing underneath that. It also might have been my imagination, but the visual quality is a little bit grainy. What was the idea of starting the movie that way? Was it kind of like a throwback to eras gone by, or?
Definitely, yeah. We're speaking to our references, and a lot of the references we had for this film were from the 60s and 70s, and so the font, the title, the look, the song, all speak to that.
Yeah, I want to pay homage to the things that inspire us, but also we wanted it to have that grit and feel to it. So it's like an old bar. It's a place that you can sort of fall into very comfortably.
Yes. And well, this is also a question a little bit about fiction and fact in the story. How did you get to know the characters? Was that a thing beforehand? Were you friends with some of them?
Yeah. But a lot of it was, majority of it was casting, and we went to a lot of bars looking for folks, and. Yeah, that's how we got most of them.
A lot of bar casting, a lot of sourcing people from our lives. I think there are 22 different people who eventually moved through that space.
Okay.
But we wanted to think about the bar as, it's something that most people understand. Most people have a space that they go to or have been to, some familiarity there. And we wanted to fill out that space with a broad section, sort of the archetypes of not only our social experiences, but of bars in general. Who's the guy at the end of the bar? Yeah. Who's the person that comes in the door and everybody's excited? Cheers works for a reason. Yeah. It's because it's a place where everybody knows your name, but it's because you know those people. So I was spending a lot of time looking for those specific personages who are sort of, again, archetypal representations of those people, but then playing them off of each other so that we could create a dynamic environment that would spill out and become itself.
And I think that the dynamic works extremely well. I mean, you have all these different characters, sort of the philosopher of the bar. You have the veteran who sort of has his inner demons to work against, and you have the guy who's kind of looking for trouble, sort of there's almost a fight happening, and you're just kind of preparing for it.
Yeah, and that's all very genuine. I mean, those people all brought something to the film, and even if that is, there are degrees of artifice, with everyone. We're all we're performing for you right now, but a lot of those experiences are, those emotive experiences that those people are having are genuine amongst each other. They're relating to each other. And the people that they chose to bring to the bar.
And was there an element of improvisation as well? I mean, how much of it was kind of like sort of set up with a script?
The whole thing is an improv exercise, basically, with non-actors.
Right.
Creating a scenario and providing stimuli that they can then respond to. So I mean, we were the choreographers of the space, but there's no word script. You know, so we're not sitting there setting up a scene and saying, okay, so this is what's going to happen here and here. It was more of creating a dynamic scenario that then these people would continue to respond to.
The majority of the film is an 18-hour unbroken shoot.
Yeah.
So it's setting the scenario and just letting it roll with nudging here and there. But mostly we were just observing what these folks were.
And there's some provocation involved in that, but really, like you said at the beginning, it's more of a casting scenario. Building the space, making sure that space tells a story, setting up a basic armature, and then putting the right people in place.
Yeah. And there seems to be some sort of continuity in between sort of your earlier work, like 45365, in the sense that that you show people in sort of their natural social habitat in a way, and see how they live it, in a sense. Was it something you felt as well, like that you could use like earlier experiences in that film?
Oh yeah.
Every film informs the next, and we were certainly drawing from that film and the others, and there's always been sort of nudging in every film. It's just this one, the rules were slightly different, but the goals are always the same. We're trying to relay as the best we can the experience that we had.
The experience of being there, and still, we're after these found human moments, these things that are both individual and universal, and ideas of community, sense of place, why people choose a certain space, what that environment says about them, and what they say to that environment.
Yeah. And I felt specifically sort of with the ending, sort of Michael, leaving the bar and saying, "You don't know nothing about me, do you?"
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Was it a kind of statement as well in the end that there's some end to community, or to that sort of consolation that that place affords the people in it?
Yeah, I mean, it's what you take away from it. That's what he said when he walked out. We didn't prompt him to say that, and so I have my thoughts on that. So does T. But
they're fleeting spaces, though. Any community, any chosen space, any environment that we have vested interests in, just like us, fades over time and moves on. You can't go back to something. And so while we hope we're telling stories that don't have a beginning or an end, in this case, the space in which they chose to inhabit has a finite amount of time. And so that chosen community dissolves, and I think that speaks to bigger themes as well. Not just in America, but certainly we're Americans making films in America, and it's a strange time.
Yeah.
And people trying to go back in time, trying to, literally make something again, to try to revisit some other idea of self, and so we kind of wanted to create a space in which people could process those ideas and wrestle with it out loud.
Yeah.
And this is the document of that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It starts up with sort of the opening words of the Declaration of Independence.
Thank you for bringing that up. Very few people bring that up.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, would you put a card up front to tell us what to think?
We did.
But is that, I'm guessing from my point of view, that's a statement also of about the independence of the people in the bar, sort of. That would be sort of my go-to interpretation then.
It's a multifaceted thing, but it's also something that, yes, it's whatever you choose to bring to it. We hold these truths to be self-evident. I mean, that's a declaration of independence for us. That's a declaration of independence for these people who choose, participate in this, but also in terms of the viewing of the film. There are inherent truths in the film. Let's not get bogged down in the process. And hopefully we can view this thing that we've all made together as something that has inherent truths, and whether that, it doesn't matter how we talk about the making of the thing.
Yeah.
But that there's value in that.
And there's also a scene with Michael's friend who comes to the bar, and
Ricky.
kind of and it kind of made me feel that there's this open space is sort of open for everybody. There's a queer element there. Would you say that was something that you actively took into consideration when?
Very
setting
much
it
so.
up?
Yeah, so that there is representation for the many voices, and that's what we wanted with this film, was to create a myriad situation.
All the films.
In all the films, we try to think about, and you can't always be successful with that, because we're allowing. We're there to capture moments that, provoked or not, are things that we have to find and gather. But we wanted to create a space in which many voices could exist, and so, certainly. There are political voices in there, there are age voices in there, race, identity, gender, sexuality. I mean, trying to make sure that everybody had a say.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's already it from me, actually.
Oh, incredible.
This is a good talk.
Thank you
Thank
for
you so
watching our
much.
film and
Yeah.
wanting to talk about it.
Thank you so much for being here. That's very enjoyable.
Cheers, man.
Cool. Thank you.